So we finally got the legs on. As you remembered, I turned them and I had the idea of just like halving them and then putting them on, right? So that was like pretty easy, just taking measurements, and you'll notice that I have a little gap here, right? But that will make sense because that is where we're going to cheat big time, okay? We've got that little gap on 4 sides, and I basically took my pin jig to drive in one pin and then glue it, and then put 1 screw in just to hold it in place while everything is drying. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pre-tint it, okay? I've already rounded off these corners quite roughly. So I was saying we're going to tint this. Actually we're going to use 2 layers, but I want to tint this before I'm going to work with some of the glue, which is going to be our cheating stage. And the reason that I'm doing it now, because once you spill glue on the wood, you notice when you tint that it doesn't really absorb that much. So I'm going to give it a tint now, and I'm actually going to create my own tint. Now we're not going to be drinking on this one, although waste not one not. Good old Jameson. Because why do I have this bottle? Because I'm going to make sure that I have enough of my tint, because I'm going to be mixing. It's going to be really hard if I run out to get the exact same mix again. So I don't want any differences. So what I'll do is, I got some mahogany dye and some, what is this? Mahogany and ebony, right? I like the mahogany, but it's I would just want to have it a little bit darker, making it look a little bit older. And I'm going to mix some linseed oil in to give it a treatment as well. It also will help for it to really penetrate the wood, give the wood some protection as well. So I'm going to make a nice big batch of it. Put some linseed oil in there. That should be enough. No. Put plenty in there. I'm going to add my mahogany tint. I'm going to add my ebony tint. Put the cap on. Give it a good shake. And put some gloves on, because I don't want to ruin my manicure. There we go. Gloves on. And before I apply it, I'm just going to get myself a piece of wood. So I have a rough idea what this is going to look like. And that is exactly what I was aiming for. Quite dark, a bit reddish. So always when you're mixing, try the result out on an old piece. So we're just going to deliberately apply it Well, so it dried in. I let it dry in for another 30 minutes, and then I rubbed it clean with a dry cloth, and this is the result. And I'm not displeased with this. I especially like these effects here with these squares. I definitely like what is done here with these cracks. Remember that I said that I don't mind the cracks, and since we're going for a rustic model, I was hoping, you know, like to get something that at least look old. You know, that's the bit of cheating we do here. And you know, these legs, although it's like finely sanded, they look like they have some history behind them. I just love how the flaming turned out. Looks really good on it. Just put some more light on it. So I'm really happy with the result there. Right, just really happy on how this is looking. So with what I have in mind on how to finish this piece, it is just going to be perfect. So the next step will be to glue the top into it, and then we are going to do the final touches. Alright, so we're ready to commence the gluing. Now what I've done is, like, I fitted my my tile in here, and you can see now it's like nice and stable, but that is only because I cheated. I got some scrap bits of wood to kind of like raise it up a little bit, because I wanted to have it as flush with the top as possible. So it might not seem like an elegant solution, but if I wouldn't have showed it to you, you would have never known. Okay, so I'm just going to put it back just to give it a final once over. I'm really happy it's flush. Right, so now I'm going to lift the tile out. I'm going to put it out of the way. Now I'm going to glue it with Tech 7, which is basically glue, mount, seal, and it's even resistant to water, so that should last a good bit of time. Boom! And in it goes. Alright, we see that the glue is squirted out on some places, so I'm just going to wipe that off. And it's actually a good thing that it's kind of brownish, so it doesn't really... Hi, welcome back again. Last time we ended the part of me saying that I was going to show you how to cheat, right? You're going like, hang on, you know, like you're woodworking, it's not a game, how are you going to cheat? Well, you probably noticed stuff like, okay, some of my tools like my lathe are, you know, they are reasonable quality. I've got a reasonable good miter saw and a bench saw. My router table was the cheapest piece of crap that I could find. So, you know, for a lot of your work, it's not only going to be, you know, your skill that will determine the outcome of your project, but also, you know, the tools you use. And sometimes you just don't have the tools and you have to improvise. We've seen that couple of times where I improvised to get things done. So I already started on my cheating. I'm going to show you what I've done. And I'm not going to go through like, okay, this is how you saw a bit, and this is how you know, like, by now you should know how to use a saw, all right? So what I've done here is, like, you know, we've let's have a look at the project now. So where we are now. So we tainted it, right? And now I've started with my cheating, and the cheating part is, right, with my cheap table router, I couldn't get really, you know, everything to fit really as snugly as I would want it. Is there, like, there's a gap here, right, and it was like actually gaps all around. Now you probably already noticed what my cheating is all about, because I've been taking very thin slats, which I sawed from a little bit of leftover I had from the wood, and I just set my my bench saw to just like 1 millimeter, and I just switch on the laser so you can actually see, you know, it's just like 2 millimeters perhaps, okay, and I just like shaved off slats of this until I had a lot of these kind of things. So what I did was, you know, put them on a miter saw, 45-degree angle, and, you know, I only got this piece left to do. I've done all the other edges already, and we basically have like this nice cover over the slate, right, kind of like hiding the fact that we used a very crappy router table. So and that is cheating, right? While I was cheating, I had the idea of this. Remember that I deliberately had these table legs just sticking out just a little bit there, right? I said I was going to do that on purpose because I had an idea to actually include these wings, right? So basically I got about 4 pieces of them, and I kind of like stuck them together with a clamp, and I sawed out these wings. Now they're not finished yet. I just wanted to stick them on first, and, you know, like, we're getting rid of that gap here, so that's all nice and flush. We just need to do some sanding. We are having, you know, the same on the other side. Now my cheat piece is overlapping, it's coming over it, so I will have to like kind of cut this in and make it flush, and I will take like a Dremel tool to kind of accentuate these Oriental style or Middle Eastern style wings that will give this like a kind of a design with just a little bit more detail, and kind of like bring back the Egyptian Sumerian style, where they use a lot of these wings type of decorations. And wings were always like used to indicate like it came from the sky, it came from the gods. It was like giving things a divine attribute. So yeah, that will be double cheating, because we kind of like constructed it all the way, sometimes with just like a guesstimate of a size and putting it all together. And now we're using these cheating methods to actually make it look good, actually look at better than the quality of the tools and the skills would suggest. So that was just like what I want to show you, and right now it's drying, and I'm letting the other pieces dry before I put in the final bit, and then we're going to do some more sanding and another layer of the special mixture of linseed oil and taint. And then it's off to either varnish or French polish. I haven't really made up my mind yet, but yeah, it's getting near completion already. So that is how I envisioned the cheating game, as you want to call it, and I hope it will give you an idea for when you're like doing a project like this, and You know, either it's because of the capabilities of your skills or the capabilities of your tools that, you know, you're not getting the precision that you would like to have if you would have, like, you know, a very, very good programmer router table. Like, I'd love to have one of those, but I don't. So, you know, you just work around it. So, you know, even when you're working on a project and you realize you have a mistake, think creative. There might be a way just to cheat yourself around it. And, oh boy, did I cheat on this thing. All right. Next time when next time we're going to be looking at finishing off the overall project, like putting a little bit more detail there and sanding and staining and varnishing. So we're almost to completion. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.